Hey, welcome to my studio. I'm Brad, and this is our first official project video. I filmed the making part first, and I'm filming the introduction afterwards, and we're gonna, obviously this is at the beginning, but I'll tell you what, it's messy as heck. I am gonna get better at this. and I could have scrapped the whole thing and said, you know what, we got to start over. But I thought, you know what, it's real, it's organic. Really, the what I wanted to convey in this first video is which I think I want to convey in most of my videos, is just some inspiration, some ideas, some different things. I do have a digital download in our Etsy shop that I used parts of in this video. We will put a link in the description to that listing in the Etsy shop. It's $1.50 for the 5 pages of download, if there are materials that you would like to have to play with when you make some Valentine's Day cards. This is the Valentine's Day card project. We did make some cool things. These are sort of what came out of the really messy thing that just happened. I think they're fun. I think there's some really good ideas here. There's definitely not, let me get close here with a finished project. There's not really a finished product in this whole mess, but a bunch of fun and a bunch of ideas and some thinking about, finding things around your house to use. And that's it. So let's go now to me stumbling through my first project video. Happy Valentine's Day. So I'm really excited to make some Valentine's Day cards. I don't have a specific plan, but I've got a bunch of stuff and a bunch of ideas. There's a digital download that we did for this, or I did rather, for this project. There's a link in the description below that'll take you to our Etsy shop where that is available. In that download are 5 pages. There's these paste papers that I made. They come out actually looking more like this from the printer. When you print them, when you download it at home and print it. There's a scrap page that's got some images that I pulled and curated for this project. There's a card pattern, a postcard pattern, a folded card pattern, and that's the same thing. There's an envelope pattern, and then a couple more scraps because there was some space there. So those 5 pages are available. I'm going to use some of that stuff. I'm not exclusively going to use that stuff when I make these cards, because I would also like to pull things, materials that would be things you might have around the house or available. Honestly, to make cards, all you really need is some glue and paper, and you're set to go. So the first thing that I want to do is find, where did I put that paper that I just had? Here it is. There we go. I'm going to use this printout of this paste paper I made to make an envelope. And I had started doing that before, and I didn't outline it in anything dark enough for me to see. So I'm going to outline it in a pen so I can actually see my line. Envelope works for the postcard, obviously, or the folded card. It's not necessary to have an envelope. I'm kind of a postcard guy myself. I was thinking earlier today, if you were going to make Valentine's for your whole class, you would probably want to do a postcard. You wouldn't want to be cutting out so many envelopes. And honestly, if you were going to use this paste paper that comes in the download, you really don't want to do that. If you've got an inkjet printer, this is going to, printing 30 envelopes out of there would cost you $100. Okay, so we're going to cut this guy out and make an envelope really quick out of with our pattern out of this original paper. These paste papers are really, really fun to make, and actually I'm thinking, I'm not going to commit to what my next video is going to be, but one that's coming up soon is going to include actually making these papers. They're super, super fun to make, and really unexpected results. They turn out beautiful. All right, so that is our envelope pattern. This is the bottom, so I'm going to take a ruler and just go like here and score. And score. And score. And score. I'm not really, I really want to do this just to show you how this pattern goes together, although I think it's pretty obvious. And these pieces will go into the side. These are the sides. And fold that one exactly right. There we go. All right. Put a little glue there. I mean, you could even just glue the whole way down. That's probably better. All right. See, that's a nice pattern envelope. You wouldn't have to use the paper that I have in the download. You could use any colored paper or white paper, whatever it's, you know. But it's very handmade, it's very organic, as is everything going to be in this process. So let's just start playing. I'm going to start off actually with photo paper, because what I want to do is pull out some alcohol inks and see if I can make a fun background with that. This is coral and pink. Those are Valentine's colors. And then maybe a purple, violet, and let's bring copper in there. All right, the cool thing with these alcohol inks and a non-porous paper, like I use, you can use Yupo paper, you can use plastic or porcelain. Photo paper is great because I find it actually at thrift stores in the like office supply section, and it gets super cheap because these kind of papers can be expensive. This is just a skewer, so I'm going to just mess around with that like so. And let's see, let's bring in some coral in between here. All right. Now, what's fun with the ink is I'm going to pull some isopropyl alcohol. Actually, I'll put my skewer right in there, and then let's move this around a little bit. I can also just tap into some of this dry stuff and create a little bit of a background, right? I think that's fun. I'm going to put some copper. These are Pinata inks, and again, they're alcohol inks. You can move them around. Just create a little bit of a something going on the background. So that's one idea to play with. And honestly, if you don't have to, like, you know what's an alcohol ink is Sharpies. You can lay Sharpie onto a non-porous surface like this photo paper and bring some alcohol into the mix and really do kind of the same sort of effects. So that could be something you have around the house that would work, right? Also, junk mail. If you don't have, you know, look at these colors. And I love, there's a good place on this one. I love this. Let's make something out of this. Well, it's Valentine's Day. We'll do a heart. We all know how to do this from elementary school. See? That I'm pulling this out of the, there's some pink. This was also mail that came to us. This envelope here is a card that someone gave to Frank. Love that color, but then look what's inside of it. Let's open this up. That's cool. I'd actually love to, let's fold this and make kind of a bigger heart out of this cool lavender paper. Okay, but then let's take the silhouette of that, or the, it's almost like a, it would be like a stencil. The window, the heart window, we'll call it. And then we can lay that on top of that. Anyway, these are just ideas. This is just inspiration. Taking stuff you have at home already and building something. So let's real quick turn this into a card. I think I like this a lot. This envelope is obviously someone spent some money on this card. This envelope's very fancy. It had this interior paper. Totally going to take advantage of that and put this there. Okay. And then I have these other junk mail hearts. Let's put one there. Let's put one there. Right? Now, I'm going to cut that out. Whoops. It doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, I prefer when things aren't. All right, and let's put this somewhere. And I got this big heart. You know what I'd like to do with that? These are catalogs that I was going to look through and see if there was any images in here, but I think we have the idea for junk mail and catalogs, right? It's just finding colors is really, for this project, is great. You can find cool images too in there. All right, we have this. We're going to set this aside. We're setting that ink aside for now. Let's bring this over. And you know what? Let's do with this. Let's make a stencil. I think if we make some shapes that are sort of around the edge here, so we keep the idea of the, the shape of the heart. Just cut out and I'm really, again, just doing this randomly. I didn't draw any patterns or make any real plan. But this, tore it a little bit, that's all right. I have a little piece of tape I can fix that tear with. Great. Okay. Just any old shape in here is what I'm gonna go for. And looks like triangles are the old shape I'm going for, because that's that's what's happening. Okay, that's all right. All right, let me just pop these guys out. Again, this is paper from that envelope, that really nice envelope that Frank got. I don't think he even knows I took it. So we have that. Now, we could even go onto our envelope, actually. Well, yeah, well, let's do that just for fun. Let's see what that looks like. I'm going to take a brush pen of a darker color. Oh, no, you know what? I'm going to take this white pen. Let's see if I can get it to move. There we go. And then I'm not going to do the outline, the outside. I'm just going to sort of color in my interior cuts here, right? And let's see. What happens there? This is that envelope that we just made. And then, yeah, I'll emphasize it. That doesn't want to work very well, does it? That's good. Right? Let's try this on white paper too. I've got get another card out here. It's not going to be big enough. Let's use this. And let's take a brush pen and do this. Stencil it in that way. It might turn out that I want to do the outside line, but I'm just going to see what happens with my... Oh, it's kind of nice. And you still can do that, right? Okay, so we got that going on. All right, so stencil, super cool idea. Here's another thing. This paper is one of the ones we printed out. I got this really brilliant idea where I was gonna, just checking my time here. I was gonna create some three-dimensional stuff. And the way that I did that was by getting this paper real wet, and then I pressed it over keys and stuff. You can see that the color cracked and broke and stuff. I still think we can sort of use this. So let's cut this out, and then we're going to see if we can make one of these work on a card as well. All right, so we had to download that first 15 minutes and empty the SIM card. So where we were at was I took the paper that I printed. This was a laser print, and I got it wet, and I pressed it over some things, a couple keys, and this little embellishment that I had to sort of give it some 3D. We're going to try to see if this is a good idea. Because I haven't, like I said, it was something that I thought of, and I'm going to bring our ink card back. But let's start assembling some cards. So these are nice elements, I think, to bring in here. In fact, I'm just gonna start putting things together, and we'll see what happens. Once again, this is not me telling you step by step how to make a card from a digital download I made. This is me offering some images, but then also wanting you to find other things that you might have around, and just maybe give you some ideas, a couple ideas. These little pieces of doily that are in the digital download, I didn't put a whole doily in because it would take a whole. I can only do so many pages on that. Etsy only lets me do so many pages. Where does that fit nicely? I like it like that. Yep. And then I'm going to cut that extra off of there. This piece of photo paper is not going to fit in the envelope that I made. I'm doing a different size here, but that's okay. I started to cut one of the little cherubs out of, let's finish cutting him, her, I think it's a him, I don't know. Anyway, little winged cherub. I don't have to get rid of all the white because I'm going to put it on white. But trim it down a little bit. Let's put some glue on him. We're going to call him him. Alright, actually I'm going to bring this over here and we're going to put him right there inside of that stencil piece that we did. Let's make this be a 3x5. So 1, 2, 3. Actually, let's do it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 3. Yeah, that's good. We'll take off some of that heart, but that's okay. Whoops. Stay close to your ruler, Brad. Alright. It's a little bit janky, but it's more than 5. So let's take some of that off. Alright. So we got him on there. What else do we have going on here? Let's get, oh, you know what? Napkins. If you have little cocktail napkins or paper napkins that have images on them, these are super great to use. This, you want to get down to, I'm licking my finger there. You want to get it down to 1 thickness. This napkin's got 3 layers. Right, I'm just going to tear that piece off, and I'm going to bring in some gel medium. This actually, you know what? This is actually Mod Podge, and that works fine for this. Mod Podge can make things a little bit sticky, so gel medium is great. You can even use like a watered down Elmer's glue. If that's what you have, that's what you should use. But lay that down and then put a layer over the top of it, and we'll actually get some transparency there. So again, another idea. I'll let that dry for a second, and then I'll show you how we manage that. Let's get these things out of the way. Oh, this key. Where are we going to do that? Oh, I think we want to do it on here. I'm going to bring this back, even though it's not dry. I'm going to tear off parts of it. Yeah, great. Get rid of that. Now we're going to let that dry. And I think maybe that's going to be how that goes. I'm going to bring in our images again, and I'm going to cut this one out. And bring that right across the top. Yeah? I'm seriously just playing. Like, it's... But something like that will actually work. Especially if you start bringing in some other materials. These are gel crayons. They're like Caran d'Ache makes them, or I think it's Faber-Castell that makes them, and they call them Caran d'Ache. These are called Mr. Sketch. All right, I kind of like that, and maybe a little bit of watercolor. We kind of lost our little heart that we stenciled. That's all right, we'll put one somewhere else. There, sort of soften that a little bit. So there, that's a scrap and napkin, and we did a little stenciling in the back, right, on that card. This one has the ink in there, right? I'm going to bring, I think, these dancing frogs in here because I like them a lot. And I think they should go like right here. I'm just going to start layering some stuff up. I'm going to write Happy Valentine's Day up here. And what else am I going to do? I'm going to bring some more of the red or the pink. Let's do the pink ink. Just get it in there a little bit. That was fun. We can also bring that sketch pencil back, or the crayon, the gel crayon. And I just covered up my Happy Valentine's Day there. That's good. It's all right. There are no mistakes. Only happy accidents. Let's take our white paint pen and get our E and S back. There. Cool. We got those. Still got this guy. Let's see. I'm going to put him on here. Now remember, this is the cutout of the envelope and then our junk mail hearts. Okay, I just stuck it on a card. Hands are getting dirty, so I'm making it dirty, but that's also okay, because let's do this. Let's take our stencil. What do we do with it? Oh. There it is. And let's take that red gel guy again. And let's go on around the outside as well this time. And all right, we had to stop for download again, and it was great timing because I was really ruining this card. But nothing's ever ruined. You just move forward with it. So I got kind of a nice mess going on there. I think what it needs, well, first of all, I'm going to cut this down here so we can see our size. There we go. Yeah, I don't know if it needs anything. It might just need one of these images on there. again, I don't want this to get too long, but if you cut an image out of there, the other thing I thought of while we were downloading that last segment was could be really cool to take some old music and maybe cut. I know this is sacrilege to so many people in my life that I'm cutting up music, but I've got just so much of this kind of stuff around. It's best used for projects like this. Let's cut a couple little music hearts and pop those in there. That's a great shape. And glue that down. I like that. I love the stencils seem to work really quite well with the little paint pen, right? And I do like this paper. And again, in a future video, we're going to show you how to make these. But and actually, if you're not rushing and trying to do your first YouTube video ever, you probably could fold this a little bit better than I did. I love that. I think you could even use this now on a card, you know, just like that, and maybe bring in, figure out some way to bring these guys into the scene. But I would, I would glue this down and then probably just sort of try to build around it with some stuff. Let's glue it down and see. This would not be necessarily a good one for the envelope because it would get squished. Again, it's just paper that I got wet and then let it dry around these three-dimensional things. Reharden the hydrogen bonds in the paper. I think you could do something like that. Even bring in some of this again, or bring in one of the cherubs, bring in some napkin. These are all really good ideas. Yeah, you can also get some dots in there, Get this old, get this paper. It's not old, but it's stuff we used. That can be fun. Use what you have, You can take some little pieces of cardboard and raise things up on there. Get some dimension in your cards. Now, one thing that I do, I'm going to switch gears here real quick. I do make a lot of postcards, and I'll print those out. You usually make one postcard. Make one card that you're really happy with, and then on your computer you can have it be 4 to a page, and then print them out. Like I said, if you wanted to make cards for your whole class for school, if you're still in school, or if you wanted to send cards out, this is how I would do it. I'd make a card I'm really happy with, I'd print them out, cut them out, and do them as postcards. But the envelope is super fun. You could even do like a little love letter in there with a postcard, right? And when, they kind of fit nice in there, and this is mailable. Anyway, I sort of feel like we kind of exhausted. Well, you never exhaust all the ideas, but for the stuff that I have on the table right now, it's super fun. So go make some Valentine's cards, and I'll see you guys in a week.